Okay. Could everybody see their kitchen?
Of course. I'm wondering why I can visualize stuff that I'm used to. I can visualize like I'm going through my son's toys, but I cannot visualize the four-sided pyramid. It's so hard for me. It just disappears, but like I can walk around in my apartment and take a shower. I can actually just like live the day in my head.
Yeah.
But I cannot really see myself standing and creating colors. This stuff is really hard for me still.
Well, you're seeing these toys in their house daily, all the time, so constantly the image is being imprinted in your subconscious, so it's not that hard to retrieve it. But to create new ones, you have to concentrate. You have to learn to concentrate. And through visualization, subconsciously, we're creating and forming elementals that come to create our world. However, we don't want to do this subconsciously. We want it to be conscious. We want to harness the power of thought consciously through visualization. Good. But what purpose? Why are we doing that? Well, we're raising our consciousness and expanding our consciousness by doing it. We're improving the quality of our life, and we're helping others. These are three basic reasons why we practice the skills of visualization. And it's absolutely indispensable. All these exercises Aki's giving require us the ability to visualize, to be able to form, and this is what we're doing, psychonoetic substance into images of people, places, and things. That's what visualization is. That's what we're doing. And it's certainly fundamental to the more advanced work that'll come later. But just remember, when we're visualizing psychonoetic images, we're creating elementals. But the elementals are different frequency of mind, different frequencies of vibration. And that gives them a very durable, multi-dimensional existence, longer lasting in any material form. And I just want to tell you a simple story to prove that to you, to say why that is. Daskalos had a friend, and he liked to gamble in a smoky coffee house. Every night till wee hours in the morning, you could find him there in the smoky coffee house. He died. Passes over. Eventually the coffee house is torn down, a big building's built there. Daskalos decides to go see how he's doing on the other side. So he goes visiting, and he's in that smoky coffee house. So the material form of the smoky coffee house is gone, but this other one is still there. So in that regard, it's way more durable, longer lasting. How long will it last in the psychical plane, do you think?
As long as you're attached to it.
As long as somebody's thinking about it and remembers it. When there's no one to remember it, it's gone. And the really cool thing about this, I think, is when we create these psychonoetical forms, we're imitating the Logos and the Holy Spirit in their creation of the archetypal noetic forms. So it's like a little kind of reflection of the same process. And it's a vehicle to expand our consciousness. And it's also a language between the human and the divine. And a good example of this is when, let's say you want to communicate with the archangels or something like that. But the archangels, they can know your language, but they don't need to know your language. Because when I say water, when Andreas says agua, when Jerome says Wasser?
Wasser.
Wasser. What's happening is we have this noetical image of water. It's not the word that's important, it's what the concept behind it. So that's what they're reading. That's what they're seeing. And by constructing these forms of visualization, we're interacting with the divine. And you may remember in our Divine Laws workshop, we said that the divine laws are represented by stars. The three-pointed star, which is really a triangle, represents the nature of God, or life itself, which means total love, total wisdom, and total power. The five-pointed star represents the human idea, as well as the personality and the material body with the 5 fingers, 5 toes, 5 material senses, 5 super senses. And the 6-pointed star represents the human the heavenly man, the human idea, and self-realization, which is in this center. The 7 and 8 pointed stars, we don't deal with them in the worlds of existence. Those are for later in the realm of beingness. So we eventually go there, but we don't use them here. But because we're in a three-dimensional world, we need to turn these stars into three-dimensional shapes. So we turn them into pyramids. The 3-sided pyramid, the 4-sided pyramid, the 5-sided pyramid. And that helps us engage, by doing these practices, that helps us engage with these divine laws. Like I said, we're in the 3rd dimension, so we have to make them into 3 dimensions. And we engage with the divine laws, and we interact with the divine energies associated with those laws. And again, this helps raise our consciousness to higher and higher levels. But whatever we visualize, it's really in us. It's not, I mean, we may imagine it outside, but it's really in us. We may visualize ourselves in one of these pyramids. However, how each personality understands that pyramid is completely unique to them. Nobody has the same exact idea of or meaning of it, because we all ascribe meanings to this practice. It's also very important in evoking images of health and wholeness. Whenever, wherever we find illness or disease is set in. All visualizations give us control of the ethers, especially the imprinted ether is needed, because that's what we use to shape the etheric vitality into the form, into the image. And it's also very important in introspection. You know, in introspection, at the end of the day, we're supposed to recall the day and try to remember and visualize, see ourselves going through that day and find places where we maybe could have improved. You have to visualize to do that. You can't just see blackness. You have to visualize where it was. And it's, again, you're doing it subconsciously, so it's just a little more conscious effort to make it really under your power, conscious control.
When you're visualizing within you, like Daskalos says, and that when you're visualizing in the healing process, you visualize the healthy form as perfect as you can.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, like there are differences in the human body, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like some people, their intestines might be flipped a different way than, you know, like there's some difference. So in that, if you happen to have a client or patient, whatever you want to put it, who's a little different, and you're visualizing it, the sort of well, not normal, but, you know, more common way, what, does that do anything, or?
Well, you know, I'm not sure about the flipping of the intestine thing, because most people just visualize that person smiling, feeling healthy, seeing a lot of vitality.
Oh, you don't do the details
You don't,
of all
I mean,
the
you don't,
fashion.
definitely don't do that unless you're asked, and you really shouldn't do it unless you're a master, you know, really
Yeah.
very skillful at visualization.
Yeah, that part I know.
So
but
for what
that's
most
what
we're talking about here is just, we want to just see that person healthy, whole, and happy, just vibrant with life, vibrant with etheric vitality. And that itself puts that image on there that tries to manifest. Every elemental you create tries to manifest. Good ones and bad. There's no logic in it. They just do what you're thinking they're going to do. So
Daskalos would have seen that difference anyways.
Daskalos could have seen that difference, and he would know exactly what to do for sure. But for our purposes, we don't even need to do that. We just need to see them happy and healthy.
But naturally, the more we get advanced, we can see the details of it, and our angels guide what to do.